Hey everybody, what's up? I'm David Burns, EAS Certified Master Beekeeper. I'm in the bee yard today and I'm looking forward to getting in some beehives, showing you some cool things. We're going to dig into the big hive behind me today. So what we have here is an overwintered colony, starting out the year in three medium boxes. These are actually 8-frame boxes. And as the season progressed, I needed to add a super. I didn't really have any desire to put new equipment on there, even though we manufacture new equipment. I don't like to waste it on myself, but I had an 8-frame deep, so I put that on there for a honey super. But then I had a whole bunch of 10-frame equipment that I use on my hives, so I just added a spacer, as you can see here, and that allowed me to utilize a 10-frame. And you know, look at that handle, it's upside down. That's why I used old equipment that we couldn't sell for some reason like that. Anyway, this spacer allows me to use a 10-frame super on an 8-frame hive. So then they continue to grow, right? And I added this deep box because they were expanding so quickly. I needed a lot more room. I added the deep super on here. And for good measures, I don't know if they went up this far, but I added another deep. But even after I did that, the hive was gigantic in size, right? They swarmed on me. I wasn't paying attention to the signs and signals they were giving me. So since they swarmed on me, I don't know how much work they did on these upper boxes that I added. And they were going really strong until about a couple of days ago. We had a really strong nectar flow. But today is the first noticeable day that I've seen a dramatic decrease in nectar flow. It's like a switch went off. Very few bees traveling in and out. Amazing that they can go one day just working their butts off to the next day, not much activity. So this is, most of them are home. I'm going to show you a couple of things about inspecting a big hive like this, particularly because, like I said, not much activity going on as far as the nectar flow. Look at that. I mean, they were boiling out 2 or 3 days ago. That means a lot of bees are home. That also means a nectar dearth. That means that other colonies are looking for maybe opportunities to rob. I'm taking precautions. That's what I want to show you today. Taking precautions on, got all my pieces lined up out here, how I'm going to take this apart and minimize robber bees detecting that this hive is open. And that's always important. That's a good tip to learn. Got my smoker starting over here, and as you can see today, we've got some burlap in here. We've also got some old blue jeans that I use. She's smoking up pretty good there. Every time I show a video on smokers or smoker fuel or something, all of you are like, oh, dang, I wish my smoker was that good. My smoker goes out on me. And if you've watched some of my other videos, the big key is you got to have a lot of fuel. You got to get a good fire going, and you got to have a lot of fuel in there. And get her hot so that when you close it up, it has fuel. And I'm packing her a little tighter than I should, but I got an idea that we're going to have this hive open a long time. And again, may have some robber bees out there looking around. Scout bees kind of looking for an opportunity to rob out a hive. Going to put my reading glasses on so that I can see eggs and whatnot. I'm going to glove up today because there's a lot of work to be done. Hive may be open a little while. And I'm wearing the bee suit today. I got some propolis up there in the top. I hear bees up there. A lot of propolis. Wow, look at that. Look at that propolis sticking up. Need a ladder. Oh my gosh, it's heavy. The reason I'm putting it here is to control any robber bees. So I've actually just kind of placed it on a screen bottom board, as you can see here, and that allows some ventilation. And then I'm going to put a top cover on it. But before we do, we're going to take a look at it. I can't believe I picked that up and put it down there. It was so enormously heavy. It was just, I didn't drop it. I mean, I didn't ever feel like I was going to lose it. But it was just so heavy. So, let's just start taking a look. Let's try to go for a frame in the middle. That'd be a quick inspection. I can tell the frame in the middle is not rubbing against any other frames next to it, so as not to damage the comb. Yeah, just like we expected, full of nectar. Nothing capped over yet, but certainly getting very close. I pulled this one out to see if there was any brood. I didn't see any brood. Normally brood would be in the center there. So now that I've inspected this, give me my glove back, we feel good about how much nectar is in the very top one. So we're going to put a top cover on it. That'll control robber bees. All right, now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to smoke this one and drop it right on top of the one that's on the bottom board. Again, we can take a look and control any robber bees during a nectar dearth like we're having now. So let's smoke the top of it. This one will be a little easier because I won't have to reach so high up and get a grip on it. Again, a lot of propolis. This one's heavy. Wow. Oh, what a workout. Who needs a gym? Oh, nice. Always remember when you're working bees to keep your smoker puffing and, add some air to it or she'll go out on you. So we'll take an opportunity now to get some air going. All right, that's good. Let's take a look at some frames of honey. My suspicion is that some of these in the center are going to be really ready to harvest. I'm going to make some room because this one is not drawn out on the edge, and the other combs are really full, and I don't want to rip one open and leak honey everywhere. So this will allow me to pull it back like this, kind of separate them out. Again, we don't know if there's any brood up here or if it's all just going to be honey. Okay, so what we have here is honey, mostly capped over, not all. Let's look at another one. Ooh, look at that, a super frame and a deep box. They added their own wax to the bottom, their own comb. It's kind of cool looking. I'll have some comb honey today. Break that off and take her inside. It's one way to make comb honey, isn't it? Let me show you one more. Wow, look at that, baby. That's some comb honey. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our top cover on for protection. There. All right. Back to the hive. Smoking them a little bit like this helps sort of dry the bees down. At the same time, it calms the bees as well. We're going to be able to look at these frames. Let's just pull one up in the middle and see what it looks like, because they're not touching. So if we're careful, we can pull one out without scraping the other one. A lot of sticky propolis today, but the good thing is it's very hot outside, which is allowing the propolis to be pretty pliable today. So this is our third honey super we're looking at on top of the brood nest area. And boy, that's just ripe for the pickings, isn't it? Isn't that beautiful? Good job, girls. I don't think you can get any sweeter, no pun intended, any sweeter than that. Kind of did a little experiment with this colony. Wow, they're all capped over, so this all needs to be taken off and extracted. We're going to keep looking. But I was saying is, experiment with this colony is just give them a lot of boxes that they can fill up. When it seems like, you know, maybe they're never going to fill them up. I gave them so many extra boxes and they filled them up. So we're going to move this heavy super over here back to our storage pile and stack it on top. Now we're going from the 10 frame super here down to the 8 frame stuff. Trying to free up all the propolis. There we go. Can't believe this hive swarmed a couple of weeks ago because there's a lot of bees in here. Oh boy. This is heavy. Wow. Killing my back. Can't do this anymore. Woo. Take a look at another one. I was curious if we would find any brood in here, but I guarantee you what we're going to find is nothing but more honey supers filled with honey. We're going to start on the edge, just take a peek, go across. No brood, mostly capped over on both sides, as you can see. And that's all the way against the wall. Wow. I'm just going to hold this out for a second. Not long. Long enough to take a peek at other stuff. Wow. Look how much is pulled out beyond the wood. You see that? They like drew it out way past the wood. Both sides are beautiful. Okay, so this whole super here is filled as well. All the way across, yep. Capped over, ready for harvest, Captain. Let's keep going, let's keep inspecting this hive, see what's going on down below more. Put our top back on behind me. Well, let's put this one on there. Well, we can. It's an 8 frame. Oh, we can a little bit. That'd be fine. It won't cover the whole distance, but it'll be fine. It'll give us some protection. Again, we're just protecting our scenario against robber bees because it's a little bit of a nectar dearth right now. Some scout bees may detect some open boxes here in a little bit. Man, I'm killing my back today with this stuff. These things are at least 50 plus pounds. Golly. Let me use my body weight. This one seems to be extremely heavy. I'm going to try to lean it into my stomach like this and my hip and move it over. Oh yeah, she's a beast. Oh. Woo, baby. Wow, this is a honey monster machine. All right, here we go again with the third up from the bottom. And let's start with the one against the wall. See what it looks like. Wow, third up from the wall, completely capped over, ready for harvest, all the way across. All right, so this super is packed full of honey as well. So I've got a deep full of honey, a deep full of honey, a super full of honey, a deep full of honey. This super is full of honey. This is such a prolific honey producing hive. Gosh. I'm going to try to stack it on top of my holding point over there. All right, here we go. Not breaking my back. Oh. Now we're getting down to the bottom two. Now we're going to put a top on here. All right. All this stuff here is just a little bit of what we call connective comb or burr comb. And it's what the bees do between the frames hanging down from the top and the top of the ones on the bottom. A little bit of space there. Now remember, I told you this hive swarmed a few weeks ago, and I don't know if they've made a new queen yet. So we'll just start taking a look at some of these frames. We're hoping we're down to the brood nest area. A lot of people ask me, David, do you use queen excluders? Well, you can see from the way I operate my colonies, I don't need to. My brood has been held down really nicely. I've had nothing but honey and nectar above my brood nest area. And I teach in my classes how to do that. And it's a technique that's real easy to do. And that way, if you have to use a queen excluder, you kind of limit the honey production. Some people call it a honey excluder. So hopefully we're down in the brood nest area, and this is a frame of pollen, which is a good sign. Look at that frame, all that pollen in there, and a bunch of drones, male bees walking around. Okay, so we know we got good nutrition in the colony. I haven't seen any small hive beetle. I saw 3 or 4 on the top cover, which I killed immediately. All right. This frame is polished, ready for the queen to lay in. Those are drones, the big boys walking across. I don't see any eggs. And again, since they swarmed, I doubt if they have had a chance to actually produce a queen yet. I saw that queen cell that's used. Nobody was home. In case you saw it, you might be thinking, hey, he missed the queen cell. It's a swarm cell that had been opened up. Okay, on this frame we do have larvae. You can see white larvae down in the cells, and we have capped brood. So a new queen is working hard. Good deal. And I'm really thankful that she's staying down here. Again, look at all the brood that's been laid. Capped over on this side. You might be thinking, is the queen marked? Absolutely not, because they swarmed. And so the swarm queen, I've not taken time to open this up and check for her or to mark her. I'm going to only look in this box right here. Since I saw good brood pattern, there's no need for me to find the queen. I saw evidence of a prolific laying queen, so I have no desire to actually have to see her. That is an excellent brood pattern. And I actually sold the queen out of this box earlier in the year, and just to kind of relieve some pressure and break some brood cycles. But whatever customer got that one, they must be happy too. Good brood pattern. Let's keep looking across here. Isn't this great? My gosh, life as a beekeeper is so rewarding. To be able to go outside and work your bees and enjoy what you're seeing and have all this bounty of honey that I'm faced with behind me there. Excellent brood pattern. Oh my gosh. I would just say, again, this is a hive that overwintered so nicely in 8-frame equipment, and I love the genetics. The bees are already attempting to clean up some of the spilt honey from when we broke the sections apart from the different boxes. You can see them cleaning that up. Beautiful. And beautiful brood pattern. Okay, so I'm done looking. I love everything that I see. I mean, this is just your model beehive. Everything you want to see in a hive is right there. I love it. And so we're feeling good about this hive. So we're just going to put her back together. And I'm debating on what to do with all that honey behind me. Oh my goodness. Got to do something with it, right? So I want to take this opportunity to thank you guys for subscribing to my channel on beekeeping. We've been doing beekeeping videos since the beginning of time. So anyway, there's my brood nest area. 2 8-frame medium, which are 6 5/8, I think, deep. And so the brood nest is there. And over here, look at that. All of this is filled with 80% capped over honey from this year, 2019. Using some 8-frame equipment on top, or 10-frame equipment on top of 8-frame equipment. It worked really well. So now I've got a lot of work. I've got to get the bees off of all of my boxes and start collecting all of this capped over honey. And if I can actually harvest it quickly, put it back on, and the nectar flow continues, which it doesn't look very promising, they could actually fill them up again. I don't get any kickback for promoting this stuff. Just took it off the shelf in our store, but it's called Honey Bandit. No unpleasant odor, all food grade ingredients. Nothing works better, blah, 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 right? Clear Super's fast and friendlier than anything else available. That's a big claim. I tried it last year. Oh my gosh. Wow. Couldn't believe it. Let's go ahead and work this over. Let's go ahead and see if this, you know, I've got all these supers stacked up over here full of nectar or honey. So I'm going to drop each one back on the hive, put this stuff on it on a towel, force the bees back into the brood nest area. Let's get working. Okay, so we've placed another super on from the pile over there. You know, we've got all those supers, and we placed one on top of the brood nest area here. And so what we want to do now is see if we can run the bees out of it with our solution. So the way I like to do it is lay it across this hive like this, and then spray it. And it doesn't smell like terrible either. Let me see if I can get my gloves tighter. Yeah. All right. There we go. This will just chase the bees out. I'm going to flip it over. I'm just wetting this side of it. All right. Here we go. You can hear them revving up. They're getting out of there. I leave the edges open here for ventilation to pull some of the smell down in there. And it takes about 3 to 5 minutes, not long. I'm glad that I'm not downwind of it. I got downwind just for a minute. Whew! It smells like cherries. Get out of there, bee. So if you were to look down between the frames, you've been watching me do this just for a few minutes here, and if you take a peek of what it actually looks like down the frames, I mean, there's just very few bees down on those combs anymore. You're always going to have some, right? But for the most part, they're gone. So this one's ready to be taken and extracted. So what I'll do now, I'll just keep going like this a little bit. When I turn it upside down, I'm probably going to have bees on the bottom of the frames. So I'm going to take my bee brush, get my bee brush ready, and just brush them off. And then I'm going to lay it on top of a top cover. I've got another way to control this. So I'm going to get my top cover situated and ready. And if you notice, I'll just kind of place my top cover over here in the grass, in the shade. And I can put I'll be able to put my super over there, and I'll put a top cover right on top of it to protect it from robber bees. All right, let's take a look. Let me get my bee brush. Let's rev up the smoker just in case. Always keep track of your smoker. All right. Let's pick it up from the front. It did not work as well as it has in the past. So now we go to plan B. Let me show you what plan B is. All right, plan B is this. Plan B is a lot more labor intense, it takes more time. Plan B, I'm going to take a super and lay it inside the top cover right here, like this. And I'm going to individually brush bees off of frames one by one and move them over to the empty super. I'm going to show you how that works. Not bad. Just kind of brush all the bees off. Most of them will come off, if not all. I'll usually do this on about 3 frames, and then I'll put my top cover on it so as not to attract robber bees. If you hold it down in there, you can brush your bees into the hive. Oh, this is awesome. This is really a lot of fun, people. I'm not sure what kind of day job you have. I can't imagine your day job would be this much fun. Maybe it is. Maybe you got a good job. This is a shallow super frame in a medium box. So they added about 1.5 inches of drone comb and didn't really do much with it. This isn't completely capped over. I've got a drying room that I'm going to leave these in for a couple of days anyway. So it will all be good. Alright, I'm going to put a top on that. There we go. Quality control. Got a little brood on that one. We're going to leave it. And let's see. This one isn't capped over well enough. This one is not capped over on this side. Nope, neither. Okay, so this is all we can take. So we got 2, 3, 4, 5. So actually, we need 3 more frames, super frames, to drop in here. And we're going to leave it. This would be a good thing to leave. And the nice thing about operating your own bee business, if you need 3 frames, you can just go into your store, grab 3 frames off the shelf, and not tell them that you took them. And they're like, "Why are we 3 frames short on inventory, David?" I don't know. What's been going on with our frames? Well, we think you took them to your hives. Me? Do you have proof of that? Yeah, we watched your video. Oh, shoot. Now I've been found out. All right, we're going to leave that baby on there. That'd be nice to have, because we're going to push more bees off of supers, sweep them off down into boxes, and if we don't have enough boxes below, they could potentially get a little too hot. So it's good that we got a little more room down there. You know what I mean? And I mean, our honey super there is 8 frame deep, and it's not going to fit in to our super box there. So what we're going to do is just simply switch your rooney out. We've only got 3 of them in there. Let's just change out these 3 into the deep box. Super's hanging in a deep, just to harvest, no big deal, right? Perfect. Take that for later. Move this over. It's our new holding point. We don't need our top just yet. All right, here we go. Let's move the deep super onto the hive that now has their original 3 brood nest area. And that top super did have a little brood in there, which is fine. But but we did take some out, some honey out. All right, here we go. Ooh. Is this a real heavy one? Oh my gosh. Propolis is making it sticky, and the heavier it is, oh, the more the propolis. I can't move it. Keep trying to break it loose. I think it's 80% heavy and 20% stuck. There we go. Woo! Should have weighed that baby. Let's put a top on that one. Here we go. Bees are gathering at the top. Probably smell some of that stuff. Let's see if we can smoke some of them down before we apply the rag. The fume rag. Let's do it the same way. We'll put it on. We'll spray it on this side only, and then we'll flip it over. The reason why the bees did not get out of that other super using this stuff, we know now, got a bee up my leg, is because there was a little bit of brood in there. Bees aren't leaving brood. So don't hate the product. Flip it over. Boom. Take some smell, girls. Get out of my super. Again, you can open up some edges, either for bees to crawl out or for the fume to be carried down into the box a little better. Or you can just seal the whole thing off and hope that'll run them out. We're going to use the same procedure again. We're going to see if we can get most of them out with the fume rag, and if that doesn't work, we're going to brush them. Fill up a deep with them. Beautiful. Very good. Let's brush these bees off. I don't know if you've had much thought about bees and how they relate to humans. One thing that I'm interested in is that what happens to bees may be an indication of what could happen to humans. You know, if bees are being affected by our environment or pesticides or whatever, maybe a precursor of us being affected. Remember the stories of coal miners? I think they use a canary bird in the caves, and if the birds died, then they needed to get out. Kind of wonder if that's what bees are like. We're not going to take that one. You know, if bees are not well, does that mean that in the future we may be finding ourselves not well? I like that side. Oh, I love that side. I want to take that and like take a picture of it and put it in some famous magazine, you know. Whew. When you have a little bit that's not capped over, it's not a big deal. You just don't want to take a lot of it off that's not capped over, or it can cause your honey to ferment once you bottle it. Alright, this frame is one that we put in there, so it's not ready yet. We put in there kind of late or something. I don't recall. This one's good. Oh yeah, both sides are good. Brushing the bees off. So you can see that a bee brush can be very important to have in your apiary, in your toolbox, so you can brush bees off. Situations like this. There's a lot of easier ways to get bees out of honey supers, by the way, too. You can use a bona fide fume board and use bee robber, which is butyric acid, stomach vomit, synthetic butyric acid, and that stuff will run them out. Bad smelling. Let me show you this next one if I can. Let's do a little smoking too here. Alright, let's get that smoker still going after all these years. This is kind of neat. Look at this. Look how there's an unevenness to the honey super. Makes it a little hard to cut exactly the way you want to, but that's still a prize-winning frame. I don't know why bees do that, because they want to? I don't know. That's just how bees work, you know. Us making them work in straight lines, beautiful comb, is asking a lot. I may only have room for one more in that box. If they're going to be that wide, come on. Here's another one. Whew. At least I'm working in the shade. I actually have a mentorship program where I mentor around 200 beekeepers around the country. They call me, they text me, they email me, they send me video clips of what's going on, and as a certified master beekeeper, I walk them through their issues. If you're interested in becoming a part, becoming one of the 200 people that I mentor, check out our website at honeybeesonline.com, and perhaps, not making any promises, perhaps if you follow my recommendations, maybe your bees will be like the bees that I am working today. No promises. Bees do die of, who knows? They can die of anything when you take good care of them. I can't believe they made this one so full up against the wall. Sometimes they don't pull much honey in the frames next to the wall. But boy, they did on this one, didn't they? Woo! Look at that. A frame against the wall. Look how smooth that is. What I've done down there on the ground is I've actually secured all those frames. Top cover at the bottom, top cover at the top. Now we got 2 frames here that we need to put somewhere while we look at the next box, which is a super. So we'll temporarily park this one aside for now. We don't need it just yet. This is a 10 framer. I gotta make sure it's got the wood on it. And it does. Woo! Alright, so we need a top cover back over there. We need a smoker. To smoke the bees down. This super does not appear to be capped over on every single frame. So we're just going to take the frames that are probably all the way capped over, which I don't think, it may not be more than one or two. See a lot of nectar in there. I ran the bees out. At the top, you can see they're starting to cap it over. Not yet. Beautiful on both sides. Wow. Look how thick that is. If you just have a few hives, brushing bees off your supers really works well. Get that jumping spider off of me. I like doing it this way. Pretty handy little thing to do. I need a top cover. Instead of a top cover, you can just use a piece of plywood like that. A piece of cardboard like that works really well instead of a top cover. Oh, one more. Now we can't leave this box with gaps in it like you're seeing here. We've got to be able to fill those back up with frames. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can put 3 more frames in this one. Let me show you. If you want to look at this frame here, it can't be capped over all the way. So we'll put it over here. Half not even drawn out. Yeah, we'll take this one. It's a super frame in a deep box with honeycomb on the bottom that you can just break off and chew and enjoy. I'm going to put that in the deep box collection. All right. Another super frame goes here. Need one more. Not sure if we have it or not. We'll look. Gotta take this one. It's like crazy, isn't it? Those of you that are watching this and you're not a beekeeper, you've never really been around honeybees, you're like, man, how does he do that? Well, bees are pretty gentle, actually. These bees are very docile. I love them. They're letting me just kind of move them around without getting too upset or anything. Wow. Not fully capped over. Not fully. We'll leave it. Oh, okay. So we have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We can use one more super up here. Frame. One more super frame. Where are we going to get it from? Let's do a little experiment, and if we put this frame in there without any foundation, then maybe they'll make comb honey. Early in the year they certainly will, but we're deep into July now and they may not draw that out. All right, that one's good. We got to put our deep box back on. Let's try that, because we took out everything that was capped over. We've got some frames that are heavy but not capped. Right now there's 6 deep frames that are heavy. Middle, wax coated frames that are ready. Need one more. The ones that would be close would be in the middle, like this one. And you can see they're not, it's got a little bit of nectar, but not much, so it needs to be filled up. So we're going to put it back on top of the hive. I can use this over there. Here we go. It's going to still be heavy, doggone it. Let's put the top on. All right. Let's recap what's going on here. Okay, so that worked out well. What we have now is 3 medium 8 frame supers that are the brood nest area. 10 frame super, 10 frame super, 10 frame deep, another 10 frame deep. All of these are almost ready, but not quite. Meanwhile, we've taken off 10, 20, well, see, that's a deep. We've taken off 1 10 frame deep super, a medium. How much is in here? I don't remember. Oh, just 3, okay. And then over here, we've taken off 4 frames. So we're in good shape. We're going to move all these out of the bee yard so that no bees can gain access like they're trying to do over there. That's why I'm telling you, you need to keep stuff covered up, because if you don't, that's what happens. So thanks everybody for watching my YouTube video today on beekeeping. I hope you learned a lot of things about looking at a big gigantic hive. I hope you enjoyed learning how to move some frames of capped over honey and getting those ready for extraction. Some techniques that you can use, a fume board, or just brush them off. And I want to invite you to please take one of my online beekeeping courses. I have a lot of them. I've got one coming up called Getting Your Bees Through the Winter that you'll want to get, because you want to get your bees through the winter. Like the one we just looked at was an overwinter colony, and you can see how much difference it makes in producing honey than a first-year colony. Got to learn to get those bees through the winter. Check our website out at honeybeesonline.com, where you can buy products to help support our business, and we do appreciate that. As always, we want to remind you, we are the place that invented, I am the inventor of the Winter Bee Kind Board, which we will be putting on our website in just about a week. If you're watching this video, I know it's going to be time dated differently, but August the 1st is when our Winter Bee Kind Boards go on sale for November shipment to help your bees get through the winter with some good winter food and insulation. Check all this out at honeybeesonline.com. Also, we love the subscribers. 21,000? That's crazy. That's so awesome. Click over here where it says subscribe. Punch the button. You'll be notified. I think you can ring a bell or click a bell or something, and you'll be notified when I produce a new YouTube video. So do that. Give me a thumbs up. I'll see you next time. Was that bad? Don't you ring a bell?